Certainly he's had a lot of standard influences in his ear. Henry Hooft, of course, Greg Jones on the wrestling side. Kamaru Usman, as he put it way back in the day, is a real problem.
All right, so here he is, the UFC welterweight champion, working his way to the octagon. This will be his first title defense. So for all the naysayers who say perhaps you're not the champion until you successfully defend the belt, he can mute the masses in a matter of moments here if he can successfully defend this UFC welterweight championship. Won the belt with style points, now looking to do the same as the hunted instead of the hunted. Tale of the tape for this, our main event of the evening. More than 5 years apart, and they both possess the same height and a similar reach. And now to get us started, here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. When the action begins, our referee in charge of the octagon, Yves Lavigne. This is the moment UFC fans around the world have been waiting for. Live from the sold-out Madison Square Garden Arena in New York City, it's time! 5 rounds for the undisputed UFC welterweight championship of the world. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a wrestler holding a professional record of 19 wins, 4 losses. He stands 6 feet tall, weighing in at 170 pounds. Fighting out of Boca Raton, Florida, presenting the challenger, Kamaru, the Nigerian Nightmare, Usman. And now, introducing the champion, fighting out of the red corner. This man is a boxer, holding a professional record of 24 wins, 2 losses. He stands 6 feet tall, weighing in at 160 pounds. Fighting out of Seattle, Washington, USA. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the reigning, defending UFC welterweight champion of the world, Brown.
UFC belt on the line, guys. Protect yourself at all time, obey my command at all time. If you want to touch gloves, do it now, go back to your corner.
The fighters touch gloves.
You ready?
All right, so here we go with round 1 as the words will finally give way to the action. This is the UFC welterweight championship, and this will be the champion's first title defense. So he wrested the belt away earlier this year, now trying to defend the title at 170 pounds. You know there's an avalanche of contenders coming up the ranks. They are all chasing this man. He is the hunted. He will try to defend the title successfully here tonight. Good defense to block the strike coming back. Just out of range with that left hook. Nice counter with the hook shot there. He's hurt.
Now he's on top of him looking for the finish.
Posturing up now.
And now the damage is about to start.
Working off of his back here. Looks like he may try to hip escape. All right, working inside the now open guard of his opponent.
A triangle. The guy on his back is very good at submissions, and if he's not careful here, he's going to get stuck, and he will have to submit.
Oh, looks like he's transitioning to an armbar.
You cannot stay in the guard of these great jiu-jitsu guys. He's attacking armbar now.
Oh, he picks him up and slams him down.
control. Now let's see what he does, right?
Sometimes when you do that, the choke or the submission can get tighter, but he was able to evade it there.
Yes.
All right, he's trying to control posture here. Now trying to hip escape.
He's just trying to move out of this position off the bottom.
Good work from the top here by Usman. All right, dominant position for him here, full mount. If you're the bottom fighter, better start moving those hips, DC.
Oh, you got to start moving those hips. What you should do initially, right, is start to push at the knees. Push at the hips, create some distance, shrimp, and try to recollect half guard. Half guard sucks, but it's much better than being mounted fully by your opponent.
While working pretty effectively from the top here. Nice ground and pound by Usman. All right, he's very comfortable fighting off his back, DC. Now looks like he's trying to hip escape.
Yeah, he's trying to hip escape or maybe look for a Kimura here.
Well, the ground and pound has been on point tonight. Good work here by Usman. All right, side control now. We'll see if he can advance position. Good movement by him here, transitioning very well on the ground tonight.
Step for step, he's staying with his opponent in every transition.
2 minutes to go in round one. All right, north-south position now. We'll see how he chooses to proceed. I love watching this guy move on the ground. Another nice transition there.
Such a high-level grappler. You don't see that very often.
Man, isn't it fun to watch this dude work on the mat?
He's unbelievable how fluid he is in his motions on the mat.
All right, he's got the hooks in, DC, working off of his back.
Now look for him to attack the neck of his opponent to try to get the rear choke.
Oh, he's got the ground and pound going now. Oh, and there it is. One of the best back takers in the sport. Took his back there. Now we'll see what he can do.
Now he's in imminent danger. Now he is in trouble because he will take his time. He will start to force him into making mistakes. He'll punch, punch, punch. The moment the guy starts worrying too much about the strike, he will take his neck and try to find the submission victory.
Pretty good work with the ground and pound here by Usman. Less than a minute now to go in round one. .45 seconds to go here in round one. Lands the ground and pound strike. Oh, now trying to isolate an arm, DC.
He needs to move his hips back to cover. He cannot allow him on that angle.
Oh, he postured up there. Okay, nicely done. 15 seconds. Well, as usual, suffocating work from the top here by Kamaru Usman. Oh, nice job using his strength there to posture up. We'll see what he can do now.
He's going to start looking to land big shots from this move.
All right, round two.
Ooh, big shot lands.
Oh, he landed that kick to the outside of the lead leg there, DC.
He is chopping up that leg. They say chop down the tree. You beat your opponent by slowing him down first with those nice outside leg kicks. He gets to his spot, the tie clinch. Then he starts to let the knees fly. Nice stick with the right hand.
And, all right, so now we are on the ground. Now he is in his wheelhouse. We'll see if he can get one of his submissions to pop here tonight. Oh, the ground and pound strikes continue to rain down. The opponent better move out of harm's way or the referee's going to stop this.
He better start to move, and when his opponent starts to posture, he needs to put his feet on the hip, push him away to try to escape this very, very dangerous position. Nice punch lands over the top.
Just misses with a left hook there. Oh, level change. Nice trip to get the takedown. All All right, working inside his opponent's guard here.
You cannot sit in these jiu-jitsu guys' guard. And you can't have one arm in, one arm out. Guys, you start throwing up legs, chasing triangles.
And he's out. Lands a strike now from the bottom. Nice work there by Usman. Nicely done there as he forces the miss from his opponent. Strong bottom work here, staying busy. Man, this is some serious ground and pound. He's trying to put this dude's head, like, through the canvas.
He's one of the better ground and pound fighters we have in the entire UFC, and you're seeing why.
All right, so he's sort of turtled up here. Not great body language. Perhaps he's trying to bait him in a little bit. Reversal here, DC.
What a way to switch the positions. Fantastic movement by the bottom fighter.
Oh, really nice work to keep busy off of his back as he lands some more offense here from bottom. Bottom fighter trying to control posture, unable to do so.
And now he's in a lot of danger. He's got to grab that head or he's going to get blasted. Nice stick with the right hand.
All right, so he postures up here and now figures to rain down some ground strikes.
Yeah, the ground and pound will be aplenty from this position.
Well, hard to win fights in mixed martial arts from the bottom, but nice work here in that position. Guillotine attempt now looks as though he's got the neck.
He's attacking guillotine.
And he's out. Well, the ground and pound is there once again. Strong work here by Brown. Back to his feet. Well, pretty good work off of the bottom here by Usman. Throws the left hand. 90 seconds remain in the round. All right, so inside the open guard of his opponent. You got to be careful playing around for too long here on the ground with this guy. Brown's looking to pass into half guard here, but he's denied. Posturing up now.
And now the damage is about to start.
Outstanding ground and pound here. Somewhat of a lost art in MMA, at least in terms of making sure that every strike counts. Not an issue for him.
He's making every single one of them count. He is not pity-patting. He's not touching. Every punch that lands, he wants you to feel it.
Well, he's more than content to work off of his back, DC, where he has been a magician in his UFC career. Oh, and he's able to land a strike there from the bottom. Nicely done by Usman. Left hand is true. That will absolutely work.
He throws it like a piston, back and forth. He's landing that beautiful left hand.
Working out of side control here. His opponent trying to control posture, but you got to be careful here. All right, good movement by him here on the ground. He really is a master of these transitions.
He is a master of movement on the ground. You never know where he's going to be. Oh, nice. He should be defending right now. Oh, now he's in trouble.
Oh, and there's the horn at the end of the round. So the fighter was really caught in a submission there just as the horn sounded. Safe to say he was saved by the bell there. So back to the stools they go. 60 seconds to recover here.
Are you ready? You ready?
Here we go, third round of this championship fight.
Big powerful punch land. Now he gets back to range. Look at how he turns his hip into that leg kick.
And they separate.
Oh, takes him over hide. What a fantastic takedown.
All right, well, both fighters pretty comfortable on the ground, DC, but you got to be very careful hanging out here for too long if you're his opponent. Able to land the single ground strike there.
He's putting him in exactly the positions he needs to be in right now. He's able to relax here. And he understands, being a veteran of so many fights, that as long as he's on top, he's winning. He feels like he's winning here.
All right, bottom fighter here, maybe looking to hip escape, DC.
Good work from the top here by Usman. Trying to pass the guard here, but a nice job by the bottom fighter defensively.
Bottom fighter did a fantastic job of following with his hips, making sure he blocked any attempt to get past his guard.
Usman's right back to the full mount here. Man, how fun is this to watch as he continues to dole out damage with the ground and pound?
Take it back to the days of guys like Mark Coleman, just beating people up in the ground and pound. This guy is a throwback fighter, and he's very fun to watch.
Yeah, the Godfather would be proud. Well, these are some excellent ground and pound strikes here, DC. There's an efficiency with which he operates in these situations.
He knows exactly when to throw, exactly when to hold, and it's allowing him to really control the grappling aspect of the fight.
There's a song there, right? Know when to hold him, know when to fold him.
Yep, absolutely.
Oh, nice combination of strikes here from the top, standing over his opponent, not unlike Muhammad Ali over Sonny Liston.
Oh, that is a good reference. If you're standing and your opponent's on the ground, you're doing really good work.
All right, so pretty good damage here with the ground and pound. Nothing superficial about these strikes. They are intending to harm.
Oh, yeah, he's landing very accurately, and he's landing to get damage off. Now the guy's got armbar. He's attacking it on him. He's going to attack armbar here.
He might get a finish here. Nicely done. Strong bottom work here, staying busy. Oh, he postured up there, gained some valuable separation.
And now the ground and pound starts.
All right, 2 minutes now to go in the round. Well, not ideal to spend this much time on the bottom, but you can't fault him for his activity. Landing strikes here from the bottom. Nice work by Usman. Now he touches him with the left. Oh, trying to pass here, but Dikembe Mutombo style, he gets denied.
Blocked. Great job blocking that pass by the bottom fighter.
All right, so you got to be careful playing on the ground with this guy. You don't want to mess around for too long. Keeping busy here off of his back. Nice offense from the bottom. Strong bottom work here, staying busy. All right, inside his opponent's guard here, DC. You don't want to play around here too long.
No, you got to either have 2 hands in or 2 hands out, or guys start to attack triangle. Now it's his mount.
All right, half guard now. Not a fighter you want in half guard against you. For the bottom fighter, what does he need to do?
He needs to secure his underhook. He's got to be fighting for underhook. One of the most key things you can do as a bottom fighter stuck in half guard is try to frame. You frame and push your opponent away from you. By pushing him away from you, he will then want to come back into you.
Right.
It's like when I push you back, you want to go forward. So as he comes forward, hand goes out the face, let it slip into an underhook, build up to your elbows, then go chase your single leg. This is high-level grappling, John, from a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt named Daniel Cormier. Woo!
Oh, and he escapes up to his feet. Very nice. That knee might have landed there. And they separate. Usman gets touched by that kick there. All right, that's 3 rounds in the books. We are headed to the championship rounds. All right, here we go. The tension is palpable. 4th round is underway. You've got a thing or two to say about these championship rounds.
The 4th round is easily the hardest round of fighting. You're so used to fighting up to 3. You got to get back off that stool. And this is a real test of your will and desire to win a fight. Oh, man, look at that. Picture perfect. Got to the leg, got to the position, got another beautiful takedown.
Oh! His head's still attached to his body.
The last time I saw an uppercut like that,
shots nicely. Good tempo, very accurate, finding the range with relative ease.
Yeah, he's doing a great job of really overwhelming his opponent with activity.
Working off of his back here. Looks like he may try to hip escape. Oh, looks like he's transitioned to an armbar.
You cannot stay in the guard of these great jiu-jitsu guys. Gotta be careful, armbar.
And he's out. Looks like he's got a couple hooks in here, DC, and defensively, you better be careful. Usman's got the full mount. Pretty good ground and pound by him here. He told us on Thursday he needed to be more effective in these situations. Certainly effective tonight.
Many people have gone away from this style of fighting. This man has embraced it, and you are seeing why he's one of the best that we've seen do it in a long time.
I mean, how many can he take? Just over 3 minutes to go. All right, so he's got the body locked down here, DC, or so it appears. This is not a guy you want anywhere near your back.
Oh, nice headlock. He is doing a really good job of relaxing, not panicking because he's getting choked.
And he's out.
Nice stick with the right hand.
Oh, nice work from the bottom. Tags him with the punch. Oh, nice job using his strength there to posture up. We'll see what he can do now.
He's going to start looking to land big shots from the top. Oh, the
Looked like it did start him a little bit.
What a fantastic strike to throw at the exact right moment. He deserves this moment. Go finish his fight.
Oh, he might be out. Right thus far. How's his opponent still
I
standing?
mean, I have no idea. This fight is supposed to be over. And it might not be over now, but it's going to be over very soon.
Big knee. Oh, and there is another knee, and that has certainly been the primary weapon of choice for him here tonight. He has inflicted a ton of damage to his opponent, and a lot of it courtesy of those knees.
Actually got the takedown.
Well, anytime you are in a ground fighting situation with this fighter, you're potentially playing with fire. All right, side control now, DC. You know he's in his element on the ground. A lot of tricks up his sleeve.
A lot of tricks.
Gets up again here, but hurting. Pretty good strike.
Oh,
and a double leg lands. Man, doesn't take much for the redness to start. Look at the left side of his body there. Nasty. Oh, nice job here staying busy off of his back. Nice offense from the bottom. Well, the ground and pound has been on point tonight. Good work here by Usman. Continues to apply pressure here in half guard. All right, side control now. Well, you see all the grappling repetitions here.
So he's going to attack the triangle choke here. Watch triangle, watch triangle. Oh, man, that was slick.
A lot of top pressure being applied here as he works out of side control. Horn sounds for the end of round 4. Here we go, 5th and final round. Oh, just digs his.
He loved that shot with every part of himself, and now he's got his opponent hurt.
Well, you got to be working off of your back. He's certainly doing so here. Nice punch.
Scramble and go! Scramble and go!
Competitor trying to pass here, ooh, but gets denied.
Gets denied. Great job, great recognition of seeing what your opponent was trying to do.
Brown's going for a choke.
He's got his chin in, but now it's starting to slip under the neck.
Oh, we're getting a finish here.
Oh, he might have got him with a choke. He got it, John.
Oh, he got it done, absolutely. He finishes his opponent by way of submission.
Perfect, perfect, perfect.
I was going to rip his heart out. I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me. Lynch to the conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody as ruthless. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from their floor. There's no one that can match me.
People into going to the floor with him that puts them in danger and finishing fights.
Welterweight champion of the world. What a moment for him here tonight as he earns the victory by submission.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Ian.
Perfect, perfect, perfect.
At 1 minute and 12 seconds of round number 5. Declaring the winner by tap out. And still, the undisputed UFC welterweight champion of the world.
Right, so there he is. He came in the hunting. He remains as such. Congrats to the still UFC welterweight champion. Big effort out of the incumbent here tonight.
He has so much pride in being the UFC champion, and you see it in the effort that he puts in retaining his title. One of the best welterweight champions in UFC history.